let's take a look at 8 useful shortcut keys for Adobe Premiere Pro that's really helped increase the speed of my video editing. Some of these shortcut keys you'll probably already be familiar with. I'm going to go ahead and show you where I've reassigned some of those shortcut keys on my keyboard. But let's go ahead and take a look at our first shortcut key. All right, let me quickly show you how you can change your shortcut keys if you don't already know. If you look up in the top left-hand corner, click on edit, scroll on down to keyboard shortcuts. And I think Mac users, it actually says Premiere Pro for you guys, and you should find keyboard shortcuts underneath that. Anyway, moving on to our first shortcut key here, which is clear. Under edit, you can see I've set it to 1. Premiere Pro by default has it set to delete. And I will quickly show you what clear does. It just essentially just deletes the clip that you select. Pretty straightforward. All right, moving on to our second one here, mark selection. As you can see, I have it bound to 3. Premiere Pro by default has it set to /. And another one that's on the right hand side of the keyboard. So switching it to 3 brings that over to the left hand side of the keyboard for me. And what that's going to do, select my clip here, press 3. It's going to select it for me. As you see that I'm jumping through the playhead here, you can see that it's automatically selecting clips. That would be because selection follows playhead is selected. I'll unselect that here. So now if I jump through, it's not selecting my clips. I have to actually come down here and click on the clip that you would like to select. And that's just setting an in point and out point on your clip. I for in point, O for an out point. This just gives you a quicker way inserting those in and out points. You probably guessed it, comboing it with the selection follows playhead makes it really powerful. Cool, that is mark selection assigned to the 3 key. All right, let's move on to our third shortcut key here, and that is the enable shortcut key. Enable, I have that set to 2, and you can see that Adobe Premiere Pro by default has it set to Shift E. Not really on the right hand side of the keyboard, but it frees up a modifier for me if I ever need to use that. Set that to 2. That's just going to disable the clip instead of actually deleting it. Remember, that was the very first one we covered there. Clear. 1 will delete it. 2 disables the clip. This is really useful for music videos. You have multiple clips stacked on top of each other. Let's say you have your audio file down here, and these are all synced up. So instead of like having to click on the eyeball, or even to the extreme, if you want to be really destructive, which I don't recommend, it's just quicker to disable those clips. So you can really see the power in that. We'll just leave that there for now. But that is enable. Pretty cool. All right, moving on. Now we have clear in and out, which really ties in with the mark selection. Remember, that's set to 3. Put an in and out around your selected clip. And now we're gonna bind or reassign the key that's gonna remove that. Edit, shortcut keys, clear in and out. I have that assigned to the number 4 key by default. Premiere Pro has it assigned to Control plus Shift plus X. Not really on the right hand side of the keyboard. You have to push 2 modifiers plus X, do the exact same thing. So 4, boom, just right there. 3 selects, 4 removes. Pretty cool. Let's move on. Jesus. Let me scroll over here. All right, this is a big one. This is the ripple delete, very popular shortcut key. Anyway, ripple delete. Premiere Pro has it assigned to Shift plus delete. I don't know why they assigned it to something like Shift plus delete. That's kind of a reach, but I've reassigned this to 5. And I probably should have assigned it to E next to your ripple trim shortcut keys, Q and W. Anyway, ripple delete is just gonna delete that entire clip. This out over here. You can kind of see it. Boom. That is ripple delete. What do we got? 3 left. This is number 6. This is the add edit. This is my favorite shortcut key. Add edit. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are familiar with this already. Premiere Pro has it assigned to Control plus K by default. I have it assigned to E, bringing that over to the left-hand side of the keyboard. And we mentioned earlier, selection follows playhead. As I'm scrubbing through here, I could just press E And then going back to the ripple delete the shaky footage out that I don't want anymore. Pretty cool. That's the add edit shortcut. It's probably my favorite. For, you know, I'd press the up and down arrow keys, find my spot, Control K. It was a nightmare, man. Let me just tell you, it was a nightmare. You have 400 clips that you need to go through because they want social media content. Next, we have the export, not a major one. Let me go ahead and show you that. Keyboard shortcuts. Export. Premiere Pro by default has it Control M. As you can see, that's kind of a reach. I have a tiny keyboard. Even for me, that's kind of a reach. So I just assigned it to Control E. Bring it over to the left-hand side of the keyboard. Select a clip, Control E to export, range, source in, out, export, boom. You're exporting it already. All right, moving on to our last shortcut key here. And this is render in to out. Adobe Premiere Pro actually did not have this assigned. By default, they actually had it assigned to render effects into out. I never used it. Figured if I'm just going to go ahead and render a clip, I might as well just go ahead and render the whole thing instead of just the effects. Assigned it to enter. Select my clips, press enter, and wait for it to render. So let's recap here. First shortcut key was clear, which I assigned to 1, and that is going to delete your selected clip. Number 2 was mark selection. It's really powerful when you have selection follows playhead selected. That will place an in and out point around the selected clip in your playhead or in your timeline. So pretty cool. You can go in here, boom, Control E, export, boom, bam, press enter to render. Enable, great if you got multiple performance shots. Instead of either deleting them, which is very destructive, I do not recommend that. For me, I have it assigned to 2. It's just a great way to see what's underneath these tracks, or if you have a lot of cuts within a clip, you need to see what's underneath them. Quick way without being destructive. It's a good one. I used it a lot when I did a couple music videos. Clear in and out. If you remember mark selection, I have it key bound to number 3. Clear in and out, bound to 4, removes the in and out points. Neat. Moving on. Ripple delete, have it bound to 5. Quick way to remove some gaps here. That's not gonna work there. Here it will. Or if you just don't like the clip, I'd recommend you just move it up, disable it, but if you want to remove it, you can. Just ripple delete it out. Boop. But I highly recommend not to be that destructive. I would just move the clip up, disable it, maybe lock your track. Cool. Maybe that's a little quick tip there. All right, add edit. This is my favorite one here. It's so fast. You just scroll up through these clips here. Boom, E. I like it. Export, I've changed that to Control E. Neat little setup for me. As long as I don't have to stretch my fingers, it's good. I gotta press 3 to select my clip, and my finger's basically already there at E. So it's 3, Control E, export. Last one here, render in to out, simple one here. Press enter. Let's render in to out. I hope you see some value in my little setup here with these 8 shortcut keys. There's a ton more. There's a lot more, but I think this is kind of these are pretty well-known shortcut keys. Good way to get started. Might take a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It just really depends on how often you're editing videos, but it shouldn't take very long at all to get comfortable with them. And then don't forget Q and W too. That's kind of a bonus, I guess. Just go ahead and show you those here. I showed you ripple delete. Well, this is ripple trim, Q and W. I use these a lot too. For example, if I know the majority of my footage, the beginning and the end of the clip is going to be the most shaky, I'll just scrub through, find it, Q, boom. Come to the end, find the shaky footage, W. Instead of, let me back up, shaky footage in there, we'll put a cut there. To the end, we'll put a cut there. Now we got ripple deleted, It's just one less step you got to worry about. Anyway, hope the video helped you out. Hopefully it gave you some ideas. This is just the way I have my setup. I'm not saying you have to have your setup like this. I know a lot of people edit on the right side of the keyboard that takes advantage of the JK and L keys. Pretty cool, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.